Hey everyone, my name is Catherine and I'm on a 2-week Arctic excursion visiting 3 islands, Svalbard, Greenland, and Iceland, although now it's like 4 islands because we surprisingly got to visit Jan Mayen, if I'm saying that right, yesterday, which is an island. We didn't go on it, but we got to sail around it, which was a special treat that rarely ever happens. So that's really exciting, but it is the next day. It is August 21st, 2025. I believe it's like day 8 or something. I don't even know. I've been on this ship for now. This is my 3rd day being solely on this ship as we've been going across the Norwegian Sea, going from Svalbard to Greenland. And right now we're out in the middle of the sea, and just after lunch we should be able to get into Greenland, but it sounds like we're not getting off the ship as we're going to be going into the bay with Greenland all around us, like land all around us, but we're still going to be taking our time going into Greenland. And our director, who's been deciding like the schedule and what we're doing, said we're going to be going through what he calls an iceberg graveyard, where it is the only place in the world that he's seen that has Antarctica type icebergs with like the really blueness that Antarctica icebergs have. That's really cool to see. That is the only place in the world that he's noticed where you can see those types of icebergs that look like the Antarctica icebergs but are not in Antarctica and are here in the Arctic. If that was kind of a long sentence, but it is now about 8 a.m. I was about to have breakfast, but we just got a call over the monitor that there are tons of whales, specifically humpbacks, but he also said other types outside, and also millions of birds. As I'm looking outside, I can see a lot of different birds. I haven't seen any whales yet, but it could very well be true. So I think I'm going to go out, check out the outer decks up on deck 8 and see what's going on, and then head to breakfast before breakfast ends because I'm pretty hungry and I don't want to be hangry waiting for lunch if I skip breakfast. And yeah, maybe I'm trying to see if I do see something. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, it's a little out of focus because you're looking through a door, but there's so many birds. I think that is a whale, actually. Let's see if I can open this. Okay, you don't even have to go out on the upper decks. They're like here. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Honestly, being down here on deck 4 versus 8, I'm closer to them. So many birds. Not a bad way to start the day. You can literally see whales behind me, and the director made it sound like Greenland isn't known for animals, so we're gonna see more of like the mountains and the icebergs and stuff, and we saw a lot of animals in Svalbard, so we should be good. Look at that. But we're getting pretty lucky. We're not even at Greenland officially. We haven't seen land, and we're already seeing a lot of animals. I can't even count how many whales there are. There's some like way back there, there's some right in front of me, some ahead. Even whenever I'm filming, like you can see them in the background. This is crazy. So very, very cool. What a fun way to start the morning, especially while we've been on the ship for so long. This is just so exciting. Hey everyone, it is a few hours later. I've had breakfast, and this morning we have a couple of talks almost back to back. We had one earlier on the history of Greenland, and then now we're having one on the Northern Lights and how they happen and where they happen and all that kind of stuff, which I've actually never seen the Northern Lights and would absolutely love to one day. But I feel like I typically travel to warmer places or like winter places that are in the summer season, so it's not as likely, but hopefully one day I'll get to see them. But in the meantime, in between the two talks, because the Northern Lights one is happening right about now, so I'm about to go. But in between, I've been actually getting back into my reading game. I've been in such a reading slump, and I decided to take a break from the book I was reading to read a book about Svalbard, which was a somewhat short story, and I really liked it. It's by Cecilia. I don't remember her last name, but she's really big on TikTok and YouTube, and it was really cool to be able to read about somebody who's living in Svalbard and all the like fun facts about it, such as you're not allowed to give birth in Svalbard or die in Svalbard, you're not allowed to have cats in Svalbard, like all kinds of fun, unique things. So I read that, and then I went back and finished a book that I've been meaning to finish forever, and I finally did yesterday. And then I started a short story by Frida McFadden, who's big in the thriller genre, and that book, according to my Kindle, was only an hour and a half read. So I read a good chunk of it yesterday and I just finished it. So way to go from a book reading slump, to finishing 3 books. Granted, 2 of them are short stories, with the last one being a very short story. But now I'm going to be reading a book that I brought with me, a physical book, because all the other books are on my Kindle. It's called The Healing Season of Poetry, and it just sounds like a really cozy read that's just been on my mind that I've been wanting to read. I've only read like 5 pages, and I need to go to the next talk, but I'm excited to read this. So I'm glad I was able to read a book about where we are going, but I'm going to more unique areas like Svalbard and Greenland, where there's not as many books. I have like options to read. So I'm kind of having a balance between that Svalbard book and then reading the books I would just normally be reading. But we are supposed to see more of Greenland like after lunch, but I'm already starting to see land. So let me show you. You can see, if it focuses, land off in the distance. But anyway, I need to go because now I'm running late to this talk, and I will update you later. Hey everyone, so I am now up on deck 8 and it is absolutely beautiful here. I'm even slightly warm. It's pretty good weather, it's really sunny, and yeah, so I think I've been just watching the beauty around with mountains and icebergs, and now I've pulled up a chair and I think I'm just going to read my book and take in the scenery. Alright everyone, I've been chilling in the room. I was upstairs on deck 8, both inside and outside, for hours, and it was really great to see the icebergs. It was really beautiful, and we had an ice cream party later on, and it was also just nice to be around people, to chat with people here and there. But the last hour or so I just came down to like recharge, because I am an introvert, and to literally charge my phone because it was very low on battery and I want to have it be good for the rest of the day. So now we have our briefing, which is just talking about like what we've seen today and what we're going to do tomorrow, and maybe some presentations I'm assuming today on icebergs and on Greenland in general, since that was the focus for what we've been seeing. And then dinner, and finally I've been wanting to see this person's presentation, but it's been moved a couple of times, and it is the Birdman. He has traveled to over 100 countries. He said he is a hippie back in the day, and he's done like bird tours all around the world and still does in his retirement. And he worked in book publishing for bird books specifically, And I'm just so interested in his life story. So, hoping and assuming that doesn't get moved out again, I'm going to listen to that after dinner. And I'm very excited because he's like such a sweet older guy and he seems to have a really cool story. And he's been to so many countries and knows so much about birds. It's just so fascinating. So, excited for that. But that is what the plan is. So, I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey everyone, I'm now back in the room. I'm pretty tired. It's interesting because I'm such a night owl back home and I can easily stay up to like 1 or 2 a.m. But here I get so tired. It's hard for me to even stay up till 10 p.m. So quite crazy. To be fair, we have been going or adding hours. So it would have been like 11 versus 10, for example, last night. But that's besides the point. I'm pretty tired. And I just finished out the night looking at the beautiful sunset. So because we're so far north with like Svalbard and then sailing across the Norwegian Sea to get to Greenland, and it is the summertime, it is the polar summer where the sun never truly sets during this time of year in this part of the world. But now that we're making ourselves over to Greenland, well, now we're in Greenland and we've gone south as we've been sailing here. And it's also getting like towards the end of August. Now we're starting to see actual sunsets and somewhat of a nighttime. I also was just standing outside for a while and my nose and my ears were pretty cold because I didn't bring anything for my head. But yeah, so it's just really pretty to see that sunset. But they were telling us that because it's not quite there yet with like the full nighttime, the polar sunsets during the summers can take hours, so you have plenty of time to enjoy it. So I was out there for probably a good hour or so, and some people are going to try to stay up because there's a slight chance to see the aurora borealis. But from what I've been told, because I honestly don't know too much about it, I've got to learn more about it today and why it happens with like the magnetic fields and the different like ways you can measure it with like the KPs. I really have to do more research, honestly, but it was definitely getting a bit scientific during the talk earlier today. But from what I can understand, there's a slight chance of one, which I've never seen one and I would love to, but I'm really tired and we have to wake up earlier tomorrow and we have a hike in the morning and then we're doing a Zodiac cruise. So I do want to feel well rested for that, and it's also again just a slim chance. And I think there will be some kind of announcement because they asked us, do you want an announcement if it's visible, and people said yes. It's just then having to be woken up to get dressed and then you might miss it. But I think I stayed out for quite a bit. They said there's a chance at like 10 p.m. to see it, which there wasn't one at 10 p.m. because I was just out there. So I was like, okay, my friend's out there and I'm just gonna go to sleep and get some rest for tomorrow. Because again, there's a slim chance. I was really debating it. I really get FOMO versus I really do value my sleep. I feel like I have to get at least 7, but more realistically 7.5 hours to feel functional. And on this trip, because we do so much, it's like more. Like I got 8.5 hours of sleep last night and I was still feeling pretty tired today. It's crazy how much traveling can just be so exhausting. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to get to bed with like 8-ish hours until my alarm will go off. So yeah, but that is the end of today, and thank you all so much for watching. Bye!